But there is another manager who doesn't change, and his name is Pep Guardiola. And his team has lost 5 games on the bounce. So this is their worst record since 2006.
Bring back Mark Hughes.
Bring back Mark Hughes and Stuart Pearce, but they have lost 5 games on the bounce, and we knew that not having Rodri is going to cause issues. But they did not. They also did not have Kovacic.
Yeah.
You think? I don't think today. I mean, yesterday's loss had anything to do with anyone. It was more here. I thought. I don't think it was a tactical thing. I don't think it was this guy not available or that guy not available because even if you didn't have Rodri, Kovacic, or any of those guys, you still shouldn't be losing 4-0 at home to Tottenham. That's amply clear because you look at the bench, right? He still had De Bruyne on the bench. He still had Grealish on the bench. He still had a bunch of these, kids or whatever it is. It's still they still have enough quality, or they should have had enough quality to at least go out and fight. It's not even the result. I just thought they did not put up a fight. They just gave up.
And, and this is a good point because if you look at all their 4 goals, all were due to individual mistakes. For the first goal, I think it was Gundogan who left Kulusevski open. He did not mark him. Later, it was Guardiola's mistake for the second
Hmm.
goal. For the third goal, again, I think again it was Gundogan who did not mark, and they had a free run. And for the fourth goal, Timo Werner overtook Kyle Walker. He ran like a roadrunner,
Uh,
and it was a
Yeah.
very easy finish. So I think City players looked absolutely knackered. They just looked knackered. They did not. So initially, they had a couple of good chances. I think Haaland was a bit wasteful, but after those 2 chances, it was all Tottenham. It was all Tottenham.
Haaland has been very wasteful in the past few games, I think, and he's not been that. But that's the thing, right? I mean, if he doesn't have anyone to play with him, when De Bruyne came on, he created a chance immediately. And and the one thing we shouldn't forget, and I think people are not talking about it much, is that the Spurs keeper had an outstanding game.
Yeah, yeah,
Outstanding game.
yeah.
He made so many saves.
Hmm.
The game would have been very different had he conceded a lot of those, because he had a lot of shots at the start,
Yeah.
and he made some really good saves. So it was. But then when KDB came on, I mean, he created a one or two good chances for Haaland. Like, I mean, they had a 1-2, and he created a really good chance, which again Vicario saved it. But I think that's what it's going to be now. If KDB is fit, I said it before, right? He'll come on, then for 2 or 3 months he'll be unplayable. He'll play, and then by that time everyone else will be back. So it feels like that's what it's going to be now, because I'm pretty sure now he'll come and he'll start next from the next game onwards, and but we'll see we'll see how it goes, how they play. But again, yeah, Rodri, of course, he's going to be a huge miss for them. But at least KDB is back. They have Grealish. Grealish is 100 million signing, you know and they have Grealish. So even though I feel like Grealish has been wasted at City, but he's still available. I mean, it's funny in a way that in we just saw that Oasis are back. They have reunited, and City have honored that reunion by playing the way they played when Oasis were around in the 2000s.
keep looking back
So
in.
yeah. So but let's see. I mean, hopefully the five becomes six next week.
No, but I'll
I
tell you what, I think one good point that you raised on Grealish is that when you have in a midfield three, you have Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. It basically means you have no legs. Rico
Mhm.
Lewis doesn't have the tactical awareness, or he's not that sort of a player. He's not that sort of a midfielder. He's not that sort of a, he's young, right? He's a kid.
Yes.
Where were the legs in midfield? Gundogan and Bernardo don't move around like they used to, and they were never the most mobile midfielders anyway. Now this might have been a game to probably have Savinho out and play Grealish, because one thing that Grealish does give you is a lot of effort. So even when Grealish isn't contributing up front, like if he's not contributing in attack, what he does, he tracks back, he tries to win the ball, he tries to do something different. So I found it a little weird that he decided to stick with Savinho. I thought this sort of a game was very much a Jack Grealish game.
But I mean, we can talk about formations and what tactics, but at the same time, we also need to remember these players have been playing together for 4 years, more than 4 years, and at some point, it was bound to crash. I'm
Hmm.
not saying. I mean, just 12 weeks so far, and more than half season is about to. We are yet to play, but at the same time, there is a possibility that players are mentally completely knackered right now. They're completely tired. They don't have legs. They don't have will to play for some time at least. Because no team has won 4 titles in a row. So that's
Hmm.
something that's quite unprecedented, right? So I think even that might have had some effect.
Yeah.
And he's not had any signings. I mean, he's not like refreshed, especially that midfield, right? I mean, we always knew and we always said he's one Rodri injury away from disaster. It didn't happen for the first 4 seasons, but it happened now. It happened at a time when he let go of Calvin Phillips without replacing him.
Yeah,
He's not able to use Mateus Nunes in any decent, in a decent way. The only signing he made was Ilkay Gundogan on a free or whatever it was. He's not Gundogan isn't going to. He's not the Gundogan of 4 years ago.
yeah.
He's lost a fair bunch of his energy and all of that, and everybody else is pretty young. So I don't know.
The signed Savinio. That is the only other signing they've made.
And he made it in a position where he already has an embarrassment of riches. So I don't think attack was ever a problem when it came to City.
And
I
even
mean, did
signing
Julian?
Gundogan is slightly strange, right? Re-signing Gundogan is slightly strange, right?
I mean, if Gundogan was going to be a signing that's just going to be the icing on the cake, then it's okay. He can't be the actual cake.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, he can't be the actual cake. Not possible.
But I think the Gundogan signing was also because of whatever is going on at Barcelona, right? Like he was trying to leave, and at that point, I think he just wanted to come back to City. I don't think City intended for him to, or maybe that he was at the top of their list. But I thought that it was more to do with the fact that Barcelona were unable to register him, given whatever the hell has been going on with Barcelona for the past few years. But and then he just basically and City were more than happy to bring him back, so they just brought him back. I don't know if they had any other targets as such. I mean, you talk about replacing Calvin Phillips. What has Calvin Phillips actually done so far? Absolutely
Nothing.
nothing. And the thing is that he's one. I agree. Rodri is, of course, he's one of the best midfielders in the world, but City still have a lot of really, really good midfielders. At their disposal. He has Nunes. He has Kovacic. Kovacic actually was doing pretty well, I thought, but again, even he's got injured now. And other than that, now De Bruyne is back. He has who else started? I forgot who else started. Other
Bernardo,
than
Maybe.
Raul Lewis.
oh yeah, but
Yeah.
Bernardo is still there. I mean, Bernardo, I think is still a really good player. But again,
No, but today,
I
sorry, I mean, the only point I was trying to make was that when you're playing against Bissouma and Sarr, who can run for about 180 minutes on full throttle, then
Mhm.
you can put them up against Gundogan and Bernardo
Oh
Silva.
yeah,
Match the energy that those two guys have.
yeah, agreed. That's where you would have preferred a Rodri or a Kovacic. They would have been able to match that energy, no doubt. But uh, you know we'll see. But then again, what Guardiola said at the start of the season, I think when they started losing games, is that, at this moment in time, the motivation to win fifth is not there. But if you ask me in February, it will be there. And that is the hallmark of what City are all about. They may not look like they may look like they are out of it already, but I'm telling you, when when we are in February or March, it's going to be a completely different conversation we are going to be having.
Could be. Could be.
No, that's a good point. But at the same time, we also need to give Spurs credit. I mean, Ange won 3-0 at Old Trafford, and he won 4-0 at Manchester City. That's quite something, right? We have to give them credit. And throughout the game, Madison and Kulusevski were just brilliant. And this was a kind
Mhm.
of a game when they had space behind the midfield, and they completely explored it. They exploited it completely. So we have to give them we have to give
And
them credit.
Son, man, he's so good. It's almost unreal how good Son is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he
I
was
mean,
always
how
under
many? He's got what 200 goals and assists or something like that.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that he has no trophy to show for it. Absolutely nothing. But I mean, seriously, I mean, he's one player that I really love. I would have loved to have him at Liverpool as well, but he's one of those one of the most consistent uh, attackers in the last few years. But unfortunately, he is at Spurs, and unfortunately, it looks like he may not have anything to show for it, which truly is unfortunate considering how amazing a player I think he is.
It's so weird, right? I mean, I think we spoke about this in a previous podcast, but I don't understand his incentive to see out such a large portion of his career at Spurs. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Like he's really the kind of player who spends 3 seasons at Spurs and eventually goes to Chelsea, or eventually engineers a move abroad, or
Yeah.
maybe goes to a Liverpool or something like that. I don't understand why he's kind of wasted his career. I don't know.
I mean, the funniest thing of about this game was City lost 4-0 against a team that had Bain Davis and Dragusin as their centre back pairing. I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah.
And none of us saw that coming, right? So I thought Tottenham would win, but 4-0, I don't think anyone would have predicted that.
No. And
Anyone
to
in
your
their right minds. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
no, to your point, Abhishek, I was just checking his Premier League record: 312 appearances, 123 goals, 66 assists.
Hmm. So
Nearly pretty
nearly at
crazy.
200.
Yeah,
That's pretty,
189 goals and assist. Yeah, that's
that's pretty
amazing.
crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.